Hi guys, today is Thursday and this afternoon we're at Carrig Graveyard just outside Wexford town. In memory of those, known and unknown, who fought, suffered and lost their lives during the insurrection of 1798 and whose remains lie here in Carrick Graveyard, their sacrifice must never be forgotten. So there's a small grassy laneway into Carrig Graveyard itself, and I remember often visiting as a child, and old folklore of fairy trees and all sorts of magic stories. It's very scenic here, and just below the graveyard is a beautiful river. So let's take a look. So this is the entrance into Carrig Graveyard and the remains of Carrick Church. So we'll take a look here to the right first. And we have a beautiful headstone in memory of all preterm, stillborn and babies who died in early infancy delivered in Wexford County Hospital up to 1992, buried here and elsewhere and alive in God's love. The value of life is not measured by the span of its years. So this is Jack and Johanna Furlong and family. We have those iron crosses here again. Francis Joseph Hines, who was only a little boy. He was aged 3 when he died on the 7th of April 1913. Loving memory of Thomas Nolan. And Thomas died June 28, 1926. John Maguire died the 24th of July 1922, aged 45 years old. His wife Mary died the 13th of August 1975, aged 92. Their son Paul died in 1934, aged 29. Daughters Josephine, who died July 1922 and she was just 11. Anne, who died in 1925 and she was just 10. And also brother James Jim McGrath. And you can see a lot of those iron markers. Lawrence Walsh, who died October the 13th, 1921. I think he was 44 years old. And this is John Walsh, who died 26th of November 1939 with a great age of 87. So here we have Elizabeth Swords, who died in 1963, aged 75. Her husband Patrick, who died July 1970, aged 83. And her grandson, Patrick Paddy Cunningham, who died 17th September 1964, and he was just 6 months old. And beside him, in loving memory of her dear daughter Rosarie O'Neill, died the 6th of October 1975, and she was just 27. Bridget Maguire, who died January the 20th, 1936. And her sons Nicholas and John, who died November the 7th, 1936 and December the 27th, 1936. So both sons died within a month of each other the same year, 1936. And here we have Teresa Kelly. She was born in 1954 and died in 1955. So just a child. And somebody has come and obviously put some flowers and repaired the grave. And a beautiful robin spotted here on top of the cross, which in Ireland at least we believe is a spiritual sign of loved ones coming to say hello. So in graveyards like Carrick here, it is common to find large stones and blocks which were used as markers by families who couldn't afford to erect a headstone for their loved ones. So this is the remains of Carrick Church, and when we come up along we can see that there's a lot of graves inside the ruins. So we have Mary Carver, and Mary died June 9th, 1908, aged 68 years. And James Carver is here as well. Darling's son and only son Patrick, who died June 9th, 1912, aged just 10 years. Grandparents John and Margaret Byrne, sister Ellen, and Ellen died in 1930, aged 59. That looks like John, maybe Roach. And 1761 maybe. This is Richard Byrne, who departed his life. And the date is actually maybe 1815, and it looks like Richard was only 10 possibly, and his sister Bridget 1815, and then there's an Ellen. Ellen died in 1920, John Breen died in 1943, and Richard Breen died in 1952, aged 67. So here we have Johanna Cogley, alias Hanrahan, who departed this life the 23rd of December 1835, and she was just 24 years of age. Her uncle John, who departed this life the 11th of July 1862, and he was 77. Now this is Hanrahan as well, but I can't make out this first name. Maybe Walter. Died January 1801, and he was 74 years old. So we're actually inside the remains of Carrick Church. James Brown, who died April 1947. Can't read that headstone at all. We have Christopher Brown here. But it doesn't seem to show. Maybe it's 1964. And this one is Johanna Byrne, who died 1830, and she was 71. And her son is there as well. I think it's Edward. And Anastasia Byrne, who died in 1942, aged 30 years. And Dermot Ford, who died June the 11th, 1945, and Dermot was just 11 years old. That actually looks like a headstone with the face of our Lord on it. Now I'm going to make my way just down to the pathway here. Make my way up along. We've Thomas O'Neill, who died in 1895. His father Michael, who died 1910. his brother Patrick, who died in 1915. Now I want to bring you across here this beautiful headstone. And just look at the way the moss has laid on top of the statue. This is gorgeous, but I'm not sure who's actually buried here, whether this is the headstone or maybe even this beautiful little angel, tiny flower, Lent not given to bud on earth and bloom in heaven. So we have this little headstone here, and we have Margaret Duffin, aged 9 months, died April 1947. So I presume this is Margaret's headstone. And we have this behind it, and this is also Margaret Duffin, who died in 1947, and her husband, who died in 48. So possibly Margaret is the daughter of Margaret and Thomas. And we have this lovely little statue here for Margaret Carroll, his wife who went to heaven, the 17th of January 1952. This is James, who died in 1923, aged 48. We're just going to make our way into the back here. We have this little plot. And these are the Walshs, Margaret Walsh, Joseph and Catherine, and their son Patrick. And Patrick Walsh here, 1953. A little iron cross here. So this is just up the top right hand of Carrick Graveyard, and there's a gate on it, but unfortunately they haven't cleared the area like they have the rest of it. And I do remember that there's a tomb in here. But The writing is very faint and can't be read, unfortunately. And I believe that in there is an inscription on the wall. And it's Robert Percival. So I've tried to clear it a bit. And it's Robert Percival. And he was born 1800s and died 1880. And we have Anne. She was born in 1835. Just can't read the rest, unfortunately. Maybe they will be coming back to clean this area. I hope they will. Now, what was a beautiful afternoon has turned into a rather wet evening. So we'll just try have a quick look at the rest of the graveyard before it gets too heavy. George Brown, who died 1888. His wife Mary, who died in 1932. His granddaughter, who died in 1936. Their son William, who died June the 2nd, 1938. And Margaret Brown, wife of William, who died April the 18th, 1967. She was 93. And Mary O'Grady, sister of William, who died April 1971, aged 93. Mary Roberts and James Roberts. James died 1958 and Mary died in 1959, and their son John died in 1939. It's very hard to read that. We have an iron cross here. Anne Doyle died 1st March 1882, aged 42. And Thomas Doyle, who died 4th May 1902, aged 66. And Carrick is in the heart of woodlands, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Very peaceful. In memory of Christina Moore, who departed this life August 1853, aged 70. And also of his 7 children, John Moore, who died February 1883. And I think we have Thomas Clancy, 1805. And we have who departed his life. I think that's Michael Walsh in 1794, and he was 69 years old. And this just caught my eye, a little tiny headstone. Thomas Jackman, who died 16th of December 1910. His wife Kate Jackman, who died in July 1935, and her daughter Anastasia, who died in 1959, aged 71, erected by their children. And we've Bridget Roach here, and her daughter Katie, died 1909, aged just 9. And we've a Catherine Roach who died in 1922, and a Bridget Roach who died in 1941. So we have James Walsh here, who departed his life in 1853, aged either 32 or 52. And we have his wife here as well, and that's 1856. And their son, John Walsh, and I think that's 1881, and John was 52 years of age. Patrick Furlong, who died May 1864, aged 84 years, and his mother Elizabeth Furlong, who died April, aged 55, and she died in 1814, and Anne Furlong, who departed the life the 17th of July 1875, and she was 64. Here lies the body of Thomas Morris, who departed his life November the 24th, 1806, aged 74 years of age, Lord of mercy on his soul, and his wife Judy Morris, who departed her life March the 6th, 1816, aged 81 years. And we have this little robin who seems to be following us around the Carrig cemetery here. Robins here in Ireland are extremely friendly. Right, so just at the top of Carrig Cemetery, it leads to this lovely woodland trail. So I'm going to show you a quick look at how beautiful Carrig is. The rain has passed, thankfully. And already I can hear the stream down below. So I'm just making my way down, and I don't think I'm going to get much further than that. Right, so they have these little timber steps, so I can make my way down to show you just how beautiful Carrig is. Isn't it gorgeous? Right guys, so that's today's vlog. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment as we leave beautiful Carrick. Talk to you soon. God bless.